Welcome back to another Money Donuts Donut Hole, where we answer the money questions that you ask. Cooper, we have a really great question that was submitted, it's how do you create a budget when it feels like there's nothing left to budget?
Ooh, that is a great question. I think that is the perfect opportunity to budget, right? Because if we, feel like there's nothing left and we haven't really started to look at that budget, budget's just a plan for our money, right? So it can help us start to get back on track. So I would pick a budget method that you think works for you. The 50-30-20 rule can be really helpful. Or more of a zero-based budget where you're looking at, what is every single dollar that I own doing? It can be great places to start. And then, figure out from there, are your needs being met? Are your wants maybe a little bit more? If you're in the position where, your needs and your obligations are a little bit higher than what you're bringing in, is there an opportunity to refigure some things? Is there, a side hustle you could do? Is there, a lot of different things that we can do in that scenario. But I think starting the budget can be a really good, spot to figure out if there is that money left, even if it's a little bit.
How, sorry, I thought you were going to keep talking.
Steve was
I thought about it,
but I was like, I want to say something.
I know.
How often do you sit with somebody's budget and it's just too many wants instead of needs?
I want to answer that one carefully because I try not to
judge.
Right. Just because I think something is a want doesn't mean it is not a need to them, right? Or isn't like the most important thing in their budget. I think that people often don't realize how much of a budget those wants are taking up. And so, oftentimes we will do an activity and, pick one thing that you indulge in. What is it? Is it stopping for Starbucks every morning? Okay. What's the actual cost of that? Because most of us don't, figure it out. And once we do, that can be really eye-opening, right? And so, I think that doing a little bit of that work, especially if we have some goals or if we feel like there's nothing left, and then evaluating, is it worth it to stop at Starbucks every single day? I always kind of think of, the joy factor, right? So if I stop every day, well, now I just stop and get my Starbucks and, I say hi to the baristas, whatever. Well, if I just go twice a week, on Mondays to start my week, ooh, that's fun and exciting, right? Or Friday to end my week, a little bit more joy, a little bit more purpose to it, right? And I might be okay saving, the other 3 days that I'm not going on my way to work. So, I think it's more that than people overspending on, all of the wants. But sometimes that is the case. And that's where we, listing it out and figuring out what matters and what doesn't is the key there.
Awesome. Thanks, Cooper.
You're welcome.